Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Am I the Asshole, where OP got the most expected plot twist. Let's begin. My wife refuses to let me use any protection, and I'm frantic and concerned. Posted by Reddit user Emerald Encrusted.
I and my wife, Fiona, have been together for quite a while and already have 2 children, 3 years old and 8 months old. For me, 2 children is more than enough. Quite frankly, I would have liked to have no children, but that ship has sailed and I can't do anything about that now. My only solace is that I have resolved to myself that I don't want to have any more children going forward. I've tried to have this conversation with Fiona. I swear it, I have tried, but every time I try to bring up the subject of children and how I don't want more, Fiona seems to get really agitated and upset. She tells me that she wants a large family with a lot of children and that she's always wanted that, and that I knew that when I married her, so I should have been prepared for that. And she's not wrong. I used to think I wanted a few children too, but I realize now that it was just culture and society telling me that that was my life's purpose and that I'd find joy and meaning in marriage and children, which was a bald-faced lie. She also seems fixated on this idea that children are a blessing from God and that if God wants us to have more children, then we will have more and that will be that. I know that she has a good heart, and maybe I'm in the wrong for being so selfish and not wanting more children, but I just cannot and do not want more. Anyway, I've recently been trying to reduce intimate contact of my own volition every time that Fiona's presumably near her period. She doesn't tell me until after it starts. I'm also trying to reduce intimacy in general unless we use protection, but she gets upset if I want to use it. She says that using it is not trusting the Lord, so I'm forced to either shut the whole night down or cave in and give her what she wants. I'm concerned that if we have another child it is going to damage me, our marriage, and my relationship with the current 2 children. I once saw a box of you-know-what in the trash when I took it out, that I had purchased specifically for intimate protection, and I sneakily rescued it and put the individually wrapped units back in the nightstand. I can't believe she would just do something like that. Normally she's good with communication, but maybe this is a sore spot for her. I confronted her about it and she told me that I should never have bought them in the first place because we don't need them. I just feel trapped. I can't get vasectomy either because that also seems to be a gross violation of Fiona's religious views. I can't leave her because if I do, I'll be forced to pay out child support and I'll lose my good standing among all my friends and broader community and possibly even lose my job. I'm employed within a culture that frowns very heavily on divorce. I have healthy coping mechanisms in place, but over time this stuff is just beginning to bother me and I really don't want to have a 3rd child. I'm not prepared for this. Edit. People are telling me to get a vasectomy or to just abstain 100%. Neither of those are a feasible option as I explained already. No sex could lead to a divorce in which I have to pay child support, or to a marriage full of seething resentment for the rest of my life. Getting a vasectomy could also lead to those issues, coupled with the risk of chronic pain for the rest of my life, which has been reported as a semi-common symptom of it. I don't want chronic pain either. Edit 2. I realize that it sounds like I'm making victimizing excuses to avoid actually working on the issue. I should probably put it more like this: my situation elsewhere in life is too good for me to risk destroying it via divorce. Therefore, anything that could lead to divorce is off the table. I'm willing to trade the quality of my marriage for the quality of everything else in my life. Some people are not willing to make that trade, but I am. I am not opposed to abstinence. I just have to figure out a way to make that work without causing a divorce. Probably just no PIV for the foreseeable future. I know the odds are low, but I've heard a lot of horror stories about vasectomies gone wrong that I just don't want to take the risk, unless that gel injection someone was talking about becomes available. I realize that I am not the victim in this situation and that I am in a scenario I created for myself, for better or worse. Story 2.
OP, what is it that you're looking for exactly? Are you looking for advice on how to prepare yourself for a life that you don't want, with a wife who doesn't respect you, a wife that you will resent, and more children that will make you miserable? Because that's the only thing you're left with. Look, man, I don't know what you want to get out of this, and honestly, I don't care anymore because you are so full of excuses and refuse to stand your ground, like a spineless coward. So whatever it is, good luck to you. And now for today's second story. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I don't like the person she's turning into? Posted by a throwaway Reddit account.
My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years and met in college. For the past 4 years things have been great. I've always thought I was the luckiest guy in the world. She's incredibly out of my league. About a year ago, my girlfriend woke up in the middle of night and had a panic attack. She couldn't breathe and I ended up calling an ambulance. She had no history of panic attacks but was really stressed at work, so we think that's what triggered it. She's currently taking time off work, which I absolutely support but refuses medication. The doctor recommended anxiety meds, saying she didn't think medication would help when the panic attack was stress-induced. She also doesn't have many friends and I think that could also be a contributing factor. She has been overall happier. Over the last 6 months, however, she's been changing a lot about herself and I don't know how to address it. She's dyed her hair an unnatural color, she's started wearing more black or dark blue, she's gotten into heavy metal and rock and she's gone vegan.
Red flag!
I've been slowly asking her what's with the new look, new interests, and she said she's met a girl online who lives in our city who is into the heavy metal scene, and she's taking a liking to it and has made many friends because of it. I was fine with the new interest and friends, but I was cautious because it's such a drastic change in a short time. This past Friday while she was meeting up with her friends, I asked if I could come along. She said she didn't mind but asked if I was sure since it's not exactly my scene. I honestly just wanted to meet these new friends. We get to the show and I'll admit I was kinda surprised that metalheads are so nice. Sorry to all the metalheads reading this. The only person who didn't acknowledge me or talk to me was this one guy about our age. After the show, everyone was hanging out and her attention eventually got pulled away from me. She started to talk to the one guy who never said hello to me and maybe I missed it earlier, but talking to her was the only time I saw him smile the entire night. She also clung to him quite a bit which made me uncomfortable.
Is that also a red flag?
Crimson.
At around midnight I couldn't find her, and I texted her it's getting late we should go. She texted back that she wanted to stay and if I wanted to leave, she understood. I got angry but just texted back, fine. She came home at 4 a.m. completely drunk. I was awake but pretended not to be. Saturday morning, I was very distant with her while she nursed a hangover. She eventually asked if I was mad at her, and I said yes. I told her I'm happy that she's not stressed anymore and meeting friends and finding new interests, but she's a completely different person than she was 6 months ago. She argued she's the exact same person, but I countered that with the her of 6 months ago would never have told me to go home alone at midnight. While she got shit-faced with people she barely knows and come crawling home at 4 a.m. She got defensive and we fought. She ended up leaving and saying she was gonna stay with friend for the night. She came home Monday morning and we talked, and I told her I'm worried about her and she said she's fine. She's finally in a place where she's happy and I should be happy for her, and if it's such a problem, then we should take a break. I was shocked that she was so willing to just throw away 5 years and told her as much. She shrugged and said she has to put her happiness first, and I asked when her happiness shifted from building a life with me to partying with random people she met. She rolled her eyes and got up to leave. I told her I don't like who she's turning into, and she called me as asshole and accused me of not wanting her to be happy outside of our relationship. So, am I the asshole? And now for OP's update. I realized I never mentioned ages in the last post. We're both 25. The short version is, we broke up. Before I got home from work, I texted her and asked her to be home so we could talk. When I got home, she wasn't there and I had to wait about an hour for her to get home. I asked her plainly if she wanted to break up. She said yes. I asked her why and she told me it's not me, that I've been absolutely wonderful, but she's changed and has realized she hasn't been happy for a while, and that included within our relationship. I was pretty hurt honestly. I asked her why she never said anything sooner and she said she thinks because she hadn't realized how unhappy she was until she started feeling happy again. I said she still should have come to me about this earlier. She shrugged. I asked her if she's been sleeping with that guy. She said no, but she hesitated. I asked why the hesitation and told her she might as well be honest now that the relationship is over. She said they kissed that night at the after show after I left and made out later but swears it didn't go further. I told her it's still cheating, and I wasn't sure if I even believed her. She rolled her eyes and said I asked for honesty and that's what I got, believe it or don't. I told her I want her out and asked her to take whatever she could now, and we'd make arrangements for her to get anything she can't take with her now. She didn't even seem sorry that she cheated, or that she threw away a 5-year relationship. Anyway, that's the update. This really sucks.
OP, she will realize soon enough that life isn't going to be what she imagined. I mean, come on, right now she's not working and going out partying almost every single day. That's not really sustainable now, is it? I also hate to say this, but don't be surprised if she ends up knocking at your door begging for another chance because she got pumped and dumped repeatedly by multiple chads and now no one wants her anymore. Don't take her back when that happens, OP. Filth deserves to be with other filth. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.